Thank you all for joining me in this video as we have an opportunity today to talk a little bit about a topic called Stay. Stay is a video series that has been put together by Challenge Youth Conference. You guys may have heard it better as CYC. CYC is a wonderful youth rally, it's a youth conference that our youth group has an opportunity to go to every year. This is the second year that after that conference has been over, that they have provided us with a wonderful opportunity to see some lessons taught by ministers and youth ministers from all over, talking about some set subjects to help not just our young people, but everybody in the church as well. So on Wednesday nights, while we have been at home in quarantine, so to speak, the young people on Wednesday nights have been watching these videos and having opportunity to discuss them together. So that's the 3rd through 12th grade classes. So what I thought I would do is I would share these videos with all of you and then take a few moments after each video to have a little bit extra discussion, which is what they're designed for. They're designed for us to watch and then discuss. So I thought we would see this first one today from Larry Davenport, which is Stay Alert. And he's going to talk to us about the things that we face in our life, especially our number one adversary, the devil. So I hope that you will enjoy this video. Larry is a wonderful guy who's going to give us a wonderful lesson, just a few minutes long for us to talk about this, and then I'll come back and we'll discuss it just a little bit more, and hopefully we'll all benefit from it and be blessed. So enjoy.
Hello and welcome to our Stay class series. We're videoing here from the Locust Hill Mansion in beautiful Tuscumbia, Alabama. This is the oldest brick dwelling in the state, and although it has stood for a couple of hundred years, it won't be here forever. One day the brick, the mortar, and the wood, they will break down and this building will be no more, but that's not the case with our souls, because you see, our souls are eternal. And it's our prayer that you're going to hear some messages over the next 13 weeks and in your class discussions that will help you to build a faith that lasts into eternity and that you will stay close to the Father. Our text for today is going to be found in 1 Peter chapter 5, if you'd like to turn there. And while you're turning, I want to tell you about a song. It was originally released in 1939, but it's been covered and re-released multiple times over the years, and you'll recognize the lyrics immediately. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. In the village, the quiet village, the lion sleeps tonight. And I'm pretty certain that as I read those lyrics that many of you are thinking, and perhaps some of you even began to sing just loud enough for your neighbor to hear, a weema-wah, a weema-wah, a weema-wah. You know you did that, don't you? And it's really a fun song to sing, but I think it does prompt the question, what if the lion does not sleep tonight? The 1996 movie Ghost in the Darkness tells the true story of two lions in 1898 that began to attack and attack and attack and devour workers on the Kenya-Uganda Railway. 130 total workers were mauled and killed, and I promise you, the camp was not singing about peaceful villages and sleeping lions. So in 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8, Peter makes an important announcement to the readers. He says, "Be sober-minded, be watchful. Your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour." Imagine you're at a zoo. Your family is there, and there's a PA announcement. And the announcer says, "Attention in the park, the lion has escaped its enclosure, and it's loose in the park. Workers are attempting to contain the lion, but we urge you to keep your family together and seek shelter inside a building immediately. You wouldn't hesitate to take action. Perhaps you think this is far-fetched. Well, consider a couple of headlines from just this past year. December 31st, 2018, lion escapes enclosure during cleaning and kills worker. February 22nd, 2019, escaped lion mauled worker to death. In fact, nearly 250 people are killed each year by lions because, you see, that's what lions do. So when Peter warns us here to be sober, clear-minded, to be watchful because of the devil's prowling and devouring ways, he is speaking from experience. So in 1 Peter 5 and verse 8, when Peter records this message to be sober-minded and be watchful because of the devil's ways, it's the kind of moment where the reader might have read over this line and gone on into the next verse and then did a double take. Wait, what did he say? Why would Peter record this? Why would he make this kind of an announcement? Well, maybe Peter's warning of something where he has personal experience. I mean, after all, Peter had his own, wait, what? Moment with Jesus. Remember in Luke chapter 22 and verse 31, the New King James Version says it this way, "And the Lord said, Simon, Simon, indeed Satan has asked for you," and some versions even put in the words, "by name, that he may sift you as wheat." So Peter gets this announcement from Jesus that Satan is looking for him. Well, what does it mean to sift like wheat? Threshing out wheat, that's the process of separating the good grain from the chaff or that which is useless. And in Satan's request for Peter, he's basically saying that he will break him down and what is left will be useless. And Satan worked on Peter, didn't he? Remember, Peter slept in the garden when he was asked to watch. He denied Jesus 3 times. He didn't act appropriately among the Gentiles when the Jews came on the scene. He acted like a hypocrite. And Satan will work on us in the same way. Let's notice something else about this verse. Peter gives Satan an identity. He calls him an adversary and a roaring lion. And Satan has many identities in the Bible. He's called the enemy, a liar, a tempter, a murderer, the father of lies, prince of the power of the air, an angel of light, and many more. Now, in movies and cartoons, he's often depicted as a little red demon with horns and a pointy tail and a pitchfork. Oh, if only he were that easy to identify. Satan appears in many forms. And most of these forms, they really aren't scary at all. Consider that Eve, she wasn't afraid of talking to a serpent. Somehow Satan put the thought to betray Jesus into Judas's mind. You see, the devil can use people that are connected to us to sift us like wheat. When he tempted Jesus, he twisted scriptures to try to convince Jesus to listen to him. And when he spoke to Eve, he placed the thought that God did not really mean what he said. When those who appear to be our friends entice us to smoke things we should not smoke and drink things we should not drink and inhale things we should not inhale and inject things that we should not inject and to allow our bodies to be used in ways that they should not be used, we need to focus on Peter's words and to know that this is the devil trying to sift us like wheat. And finally, please understand, you need to decide now what you're going to do when the devil, this prowling lion, approaches you. Don't wait. Don't wait until you're presented with something to smoke or drink or inhale or an opportunity to be alone with that girl or that guy. If you wait until then to decide, it's too late. Make a plan now. Be sober. Develop a code of ethics for your life and adhere to it. Be watchful. The devil is very angry right now. He's mad. He's mad because you're here and you're listening to these videos. He's mad because some of you are going to act to resist him. Some of you are going to act to be sober and watchful, and some of you are going to develop a plan. And I understand it's going to be difficult and it's going to be challenging at times, but you're going to develop a plan to recognize Satan's true identity when you get approached by an angel of light, by a friend that appears to be concerned for you, but is encouraging you into a place where the roaring lion can devour you. Several years ago, there was a popular song that went something like this: I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony. That would be quite a big accomplishment. And you know, a lot of people would accomplish big things if they could just push a button and get instant results. But big projects mean a lot of hard work. Having a big accomplishment means working hard if you want to get to where you want to be. I doubt that it's possible to teach the entire world to sing in perfect harmony. But you know what? With a lot of hard work, it would probably be possible to get a few people together and teach them to sing in almost perfect harmony. If we want to create an environment where the prowling lion will not be able to devour us, it's going to take a plan. And that's going to mean some hard work. And it's urgent that we get to work now. Well, I'm going to stop right here, but your teacher has some other thoughts on this passage to share and discuss. May God bless you in your study to stay alert.
And once again, we want to say how much that we appreciate CYC and their efforts for putting this series together for us, and especially Larry for putting together this first video for us on Stay Alert. You know, the devil is very real. In so many ways in our world and in our cultures, the devil has been trivialized by a man in a red suit with a pitchfork and an evil mustache, and he's just easily identifiable by knowing who he is. However, you know, as much as we want to cartoonize the devil, he is very much a real being who is searching to destroy those people who are trying to follow God. The Bible describes the devil as being that roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. And so we have to be alert, and we have to be aware, and we have to be watchful to make sure that we don't allow this very real enemy take us over. His strategy, as has already been talked about in 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8, is to prowl around like that lion. And if you've ever seen those documentaries where lions go hunting, they don't just take off and attack the very first thing that they see. In fact, they wait, and they're patient, and they camouflage themselves, and they look for those opportunities in which to be able to strike, in which to be able to take their prey down that will be easy for them to eat. And it's the same thing with the devil. He waits, and he's patient, and he looks for those people who are weak. He looks for those people who are sick. He looks for those people who are very easily in a spot in their life to be tempted. And that's why we as Christians have to be alert, have to be on our guard, that even in times where we may feel a little weak, maybe in times when we may be kind of low in our faithfulness, to be aware that he is going to be working in our lives trying to take us away from God. You know, regardless of what we may think, everybody has a relationship with the devil. It's either you are on his side, doing whatever you want to anyway, going against God, or he is your enemy. And let me tell you one thing, I am pretty sure, except for when he uses people who go against God to hurt Christians, he doesn't pay just a whole lot of attention to them. In fact, most of his time he is focused on those who are trying to do God's will the best they can. So those of us who are Christians, who are trying to live a faithful life, we have got to be alert. You know, during this time where we are away from each other, we are missing something that we all love so deeply, and that is the encouragement and the fellowship that we get to enjoy with one another. The encouragement, the being uplifted, the being able to sing songs and study and talk and just be a part of each other's lives so much more than what we're able to do right now. And I dare say, and this is Cliff's opinion, if you've gone into this quarantine as a strong Christian, then this is the devil's opportunity to look for weaknesses in you, to bring you down, to make you weak, to try to take you away from God, to discourage you. But here's what we have to do for those of us who've gone into this quarantine as a weaker Christian. His sights are on us even more so now. And so we have to take this time to fortify our lives, to fortify our faith, to look more toward God now than we have before, because He is going to take this opportunity and He is going to attack us if we allow Him to see any weakness in our lives. So I want to challenge everybody today watching, as I've challenged the youth group as we've studied this before. I want you to remain alert, and I want you to be strong. I want you to be able to come out of this quarantine stronger than when you went in, because now you have that extra opportunity to pray more where maybe you didn't. Maybe you have that opportunity to study more where maybe you didn't. You have that opportunity to reach out and call fellow Christians or those who are struggling. You have an opportunity now to use the internet and social media in a way that you didn't have before, to be able to uplift lives of others, to let them see God living in your life. The devil has a couple of goals. His goal is to destroy us, and his goal is to make us weak and ineffective. And so that I hope that you are spending your life being strong, that you are taking this time, maybe you have some extra time on your hands, to strengthen your faith, increase your relationship with God so that you will not have to worry about the devil trying to take you down. A couple of things about each of these classes that we go through with the young people is that they leave us with a couple of discussion questions. And at the end of this video, I'm going to put these scriptures and stuff for you to be able to write down and read for yourself so that you have some study time on your own, so you don't have to take Larry's word for it, you don't have to take Cliff's word for it, you'll be able to study these. Learn about the gospel and how it saves by reading and studying 2 Thessalonians chapter 1, verses 5 through 10. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, 1 through 5. Romans chapter 6, verses 1 through 4. Acts 2 and 38. And for each of these passages, I want you to ask the question, what does this teach about the gospel? Secondly, I want you to make a list of spiritual activities. Examples include devotionals, singings, service opportunities, not counting the things that we normally do on a Sunday and a Wednesday. Look at each of these events separately and ask, how can this help keep me off of Satan's menu? Make a list of things that you can do in your personal life that's going to help you overcome the evil one, that's going to help you be a true enemy of the devil and defeat him every time. Everybody, thank you so much for joining in and listening to just a few minutes today. We will continue to show these videos even after we go back to normal, because I want everybody to have the opportunity to see what our young people are studying on Wednesday night. And I want you to have some encouragement as well, because these videos have been a blessing to me and have been a blessing to our young people as we go through this difficult time. Thank you so much.